I used to be part of an immigration forum where women that are sponsoring their husbands from Jamaica would share or exchange information and sort of encourage each other in the process. Because when you're sponsoring someone from Jamaica or anywhere else in the world, it can be very tedious. And at times, you don't know what's going on with your file. And so, these women were very supportive towards each other. But for the years that I visited this forum, some things came to my attention, and I thought this would be a good place to talk about it. So, a lot of women go home to Jamaica. I am no different from them. I am Jamaican. That's where I met my husband. I went there to work for a year and I met him, and we got married, and I sponsored him. So, I understand the process, and I understand that we can't put a name on love or a face on love. We never know who we're going to fall in love with. However, having said that, as I was on this forum, there was a pattern emerging of European women, Canadian women, women from all over the world, United women from the United States. They would go home on vacation and they would meet these men and they would fall in love and they would get married. I call this vacation love. And so they would marry these men and they would begin the process of bringing them here. And when you listen to the way these women speak, oh, they were so much in love. And these men loved them so much. And a lot of these marriages were interracial. And these women said that these black guys were marrying them because they were not into their kind. Now, for those women who were just talking about their relationship and the process of going through the sponsorship, as well as the stress of being in a long distance relationship, I completely understood them and really supported them. But there were women who felt that because they were white women, it made them more special, and that these men in Jamaica were marrying them because they brought something more special than a black woman. And that's what I found offensive. And some of these women would send their money, and these men would call them and tell them all kinds of stories, and they would believe it, where they're always sending money. And what really surprised me, some of these women were in their 50s. They were not teenagers, they were grown women. And some of them were marrying 24-year-old guys, 19-year-old guys. And I thought, there's something wrong with this picture. If you're 50 years old and you're marrying a 20-year-old guy, what do you suppose is happening? You think this young boy is really in love with you. And it really irritated me when they referred to these children as my husband or my hubby. This is not your husband, it is your son. And though you might decide to marry a younger guy, that is your prerogative. However, when he comes to Canada and you're 55 years old and he goes off with a young girl to start a family, I hope you realize that you were very stupid in marrying this guy in the first place. Because you could marry someone your age and it doesn't work out, but you're really asking for trouble when you marry a 20-year-old guy and you seriously expect for it to work out. Now these guys are in Jamaica and they're seeking an opportunity. And while I think it's wrong that they deceive some of these women, I also think, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? You're a grown woman. You're in your 50s. I would like to think that you spent your entire life making some stupid mistakes and that you be over it now. These are your boy toys, or I'm not sure what it is to you, but it's not your husband. And the nerve some of you women have to say that these black guys are marrying you because you're better than black women. You've got to be kidding. What you represent is not the fact that you're beautiful and you have flowing hair and beautiful eyes. That's not why they're marrying you. Sorry to break the news. So if you decide to do charity and this is how you decide to do it, go ahead. But do not marry these guys that you meet on a resort and spend all your money getting them here. And when you realize that you have been very stupid, you decide that you're going to go to immigration and pressure them for sending home these people. It doesn't make sense. And some of the comments that they make about black women, are too aggressive and all those things. Well, you know what? Some of these black guys, the reason why they don't want us is because they know they can't pull the wool over our eyes. We're not docile. And we're not really silly. We might make mistakes like everybody else, but we know what it's about. We know what time of the day it is. So, I have no problems with you marrying a guy you met on vacation. I really have no problems if you want to marry someone who's 3 times younger than you. The only problem I have is when you start to pressure the government to send these boys back home or these vacation love. Blame yourself. I've encouraged women to say, okay, well, you fell in love with this person and you got caught up and you got married and you're hoping to have a relationship with the person. Why don't you save the money that you're sending home to these gentlemen? Save it to spend on both of you when they get here. Because there's no promise. How do you know that this person is going to stand by you when they get here? What kind of guarantees you have? There is no guarantees in life. And we know that you're taking a chance when you marry someone, whether they're with you or they're the same age as yourself or not. Seem like you haven't heard about Stella, how Stella got her groove back. And the thing is, these women, they attack you when you try to say hello. Be very careful about all that money you're sending home through Western Union. Hello, be careful in putting down the black woman when you defend these men, because a lot of them are going to put you to shame, because a lot of them will not stay past the day when the government of Canada says that they can stay with you. Some of them will, pretend until they get that beautiful green card or they're landed. Sorry. Sorry to break the news to you. So the next time you think of talking bad about a black woman and how wonderful you think you are, you might as well take a good look and do a survey of the number of men that come here when they marry someone from Jamaica and they stay with you out of loyalty. Think about it before you start getting arrogant and disrespectful towards black women. I don't want to see any of my brothers deceive anyone, whether they be black or white. I don't want to see that because I'm a woman and I know what that feels like. It's not a nice feeling. But I'm asking the women to be responsible. And I'm sorry if I have to say you're stupid, but you are. If you actually believe that a boy who is 2 times your age is going to stay with you. No, he's not. He's not. He's not going to stay with you. He's looking for an opportunity to come to Canada. He's not going to be your husband. So if you're looking for a boy toy, that's fine with me, no problem. But when he's ready to get gone, I don't want to hear about your cries and how wicked these men are, because they're not even men. Some of them are boys. To those women who have met their partners in other countries and fell in love and have worked out the differences, all the best. Just be realistic and know that when they come to a new country, it's culture shock, and you're going to have to work very hard to bridge the gap between you and this individual. And we're talking about differences in culture, in race, in all of these things. It's not a fairy tale world. It's going to take a lot of work. And when you start living with someone, is different from when you meet them on vacation. Everything is beautiful when you're on vacation. When you start living with the individual and you start to see their little quirks and their little habits, you might be surprised how far you want to run away from that individual. And for you men in Jamaica who are actually marrying these women and deceiving them to come to Canada, it's not very nice. You need to stop it. And for those of you who are marrying someone and you look past differences, and you decide that this is who you want to spend the rest of your life with, then I say all the best. Good luck to you.